This is Dr. Feelgood by Mötley Crüe.
Let's talk records. Since their explosive start on the streets of Hollywood, California, Mötley Crüe quickly gained a following for their sensational brand of sleazy glam metal and outrageous stage shows that electrified the Sunset Strip. Their first album, Too Fast for Love, was released late 1981 on their own label, Leather Records, with a limited run of 900 copies. By the self-released third pressing of the album, they had already sold over 20,000 copies all on their own. Because of the hype in LA, they signed with Elektra Records, who reissued their debut in 1982. Their second album, Shout at the Devil, became very controversial with religious and parents groups for upping the ante with satanic imagery, including a pentagram on the album cover. It has been certified 4 times platinum. Already one of the most successful and influential bands of the new breed of American glam metal, the band was notorious for decadent partying and abusing drugs and alcohol. Around this time, bass player and songwriter Nikki Sixx was developing a serious heroin addiction. Although also experiencing a serious drinking problem, guitarist Mick Mars was always against, but his biggest challenge was suffering from ankylosing spondylitis, a rare condition that affects the bones with chronic inflammatory arthritis. In late 1984, after partying all day at his house in Redondo Beach, singer Vince Neil got in his Di Tommaso Pantera fast car with Henry Rock's drummer, Razzle, to go on an alcohol run just down the street to the liquor store. An intoxicated Neil, who was speeding to show how fast the car could go, crashed head-on with another vehicle, which unalived Razzle, who was in the passenger seat. Using the argument that Neil needed to tour, his lawyers negotiated a 30-day prison sentence, out of which he only served 15 for good behavior. After this, relations with the band became tense, with Neil's manslaughter charge and Sixx's increasing problem. Mötley Crüe's third album was Theater of Pain, released in 1985. Despite the album's success reaching number 6 on the Billboard Hot 200, due to the inner turmoil the band was facing, they would ultimately be disappointed with the result, deeming it mediocre. During the Theater of Pain tour in London, Sixx almost met a tragic end when he overdosed on heroin but survived. Theater of Pain would also eventually reach 4 times platinum. Girls, Girls, Girls was their 4th album, released in 1987. It went to number 2 on its first week. The same issues that affected them on their previous album was still prevalent. Although not as bad as Sixx's addiction, the other guys were also abusing substances and drinking excessively. While this album was definitely an improvement from their previous album, the group was still largely unsatisfied and felt they could do better. By the end of the year, Sixx had another heroin overdose, in which he was briefly pronounced dead but revived with a shot of adrenaline. Girls, Girls, Girls would also eventually go 4 times platinum. Shortly after, their managers Doc McGee and Doug Thaler pulled an intervention to get the band fixed before they imploded. They all agreed to go to rehab and cancel the European tour in early 1988. After rehab, a newly clean band began recording their 5th album. Dr. Feelgood by Mötley Crüe was released August 28, 1989 on Elektra Records. It was produced by Bob Rock, who had been in Canadian power pop band The Payolas, and had also produced the cult's Sonic Temple album. It would become their only number 1 album, reaching number 1 on the US Billboard Hot 200. The initial idea for the album cover was using their mascot, Alistair Fiend, as a maniac doctor with a syringe. The idea was more than likely scrapped because of the addiction Sixx was struggling with at the time. They hired their tattoo artist Kevin Brady to design the artwork, and Don Bradingham to illustrate it. Bradingham had done the iconic album cover for Master of Puppets by Metallica. The first single was the title track, released the same day as the album. The music video was directed by Wayne Isham, who had worked with the band before, as well as directing music videos by Bon Jovi, Ozzy Osbourne, Skid Row, Judas Priest, and others. Dr. Feelgood reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. It is their highest charting single. Kickstart My Heart was the second single, released November 20th, 1989. The song is about Sixx's experience almost dying while overdosing and resuscitated with adrenaline. Music video is once again directed by Wayne Isham. It was shot in October of 1989 at the Whiskey A Go Go as a warm-up show to get ready for their world tour. The legendary Sam Kinison makes a cameo. The song reached number 27 on the Billboard Hot 100. The next single was Without You, released February 1990. The power ballad was written by Sixx and Mars, but apparently was about drummer Tommy Lee's relationship with Heather Locklear. The music video was directed by Mary Lambert, who had directed Pet Sematary. The song reached number 8 on the Hot 100. Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away was the 4th single, released May 28, 1990. It was once again directed by Mary Lambert. The song reached number 19 on the Billboard Hot 100. The fifth and final single was Same Old Situation, SOS, released July 31st, 1990. Wayne Isham came back to direct this one, which was filmed during a concert at the Alpine Valley Music Theater in Wisconsin on July 7th, 1990. The song went to number 78 on the Hot 100. Aerosmith, who was also sober back then, was recording their Pump album at the same time Crue was recording their album, so Steven Tyler provides backing vocals for the songs Sticky Sweet and Same Old Situation, SOS. Singer Bryan Adams also provides backing vocals for the same songs. Robin Zander and Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick also provide backing vocals for the song She Goes Down, may be attributed to the newfound sobriety, but Dr. Feelgood saw a band that was known for their fast living and loud rock and roll become more focused and controlled with this album that many people call their finest moment, both commercially and critically. Dr. Feelgood by Mötley Crüe has gone 6 times platinum, selling over 6 million copies in the US.